Hi there guys, it's Pip here from pipweekly.com. So just bringing a short video to you today from inside because it's a bit bright to go outside. I've tried doing it but the glare is really coming off the camera and I want to make sure I'm having eye contact with you guys. So I was just really thinking about the past, and we've got to be careful thinking about the past because it can hold us back. For example, quite recently I've had some quite strong thoughts and memories, I suppose, about where I used to work and about the people there and the job there and all sorts of things I just remember in such clear detail. And obviously my life has moved on and changed, and I was thinking about, excuse me, got a bit of a cough in my throat there. Is there a reason those memories are coming back to me? Should I just go back? And what do I do? Because I've got a new job and life has really thrown me around this past 6 months. But having said that, I also remember life before I started a business and way before I started doing this YouTube channel, which is a result of the business being encouraged by my mentor. Still trying to do a video every day. And I always remember actually feeling really poor. So I was on, I don't know, it did go up every year, but I was on £8. I started on £8.21, or whatever it was at the time, which is the national minimum wage. And thankfully that changed quite quickly. And I then got a pay rise the next year and the next year as well. But it was still going to take me quite a couple of years to reach sort of satisfactory level of income, and I felt I didn't have time for that. And the other thing I didn't have time for was just not progressing, not feeling like I was getting anywhere. I would do pretty much the same thing every day, with a bit of variation, but then go home and then the next day I would restart again. So I was basically a cleaner. I would clean the bathrooms, and we all know from cleaning our own homes how short-lived that is. And I felt like, my work was just being undone as it was, because that's the nature of cleaning, and that every day I was just starting again from fresh. I wasn't actually building anything. I was just trying to keep up, running to keep up with a certain level. And I wanted to build something. I wanted to create something. It was like, because it was an amazing, beautiful place, lots of it was in a garden, so I suppose it would be like if you are into your gardening, planting the same strip of plants every single day, and then going on to the next plot in the garden, and the next plot in the garden, and the next plot in the garden, and then the next day you come in and you have to start all over again, planting the same seeds in the same plot in the same space. And I really wasn't building anything, and so I think when we look back on our past, we do have to remember sometimes the reasons that we've moved on. I do tend to see the past through rose-coloured glasses. I do miss the people there terribly. I feel like I shouldn't have left sometimes, because I feel like the people made it my home when I was far away from what I considered to be home. But I also do remember as well coming back on my days off, and basically sometimes just sitting here right now where I am on this couch and just feeling like I didn't excuse me, that was a cough coming through as well. I didn't have anything to do, or I didn't have any way to progress my life, and that was really frustrating for me. So it's hard when you move on. I was looking on my old company's website yesterday, and I was realising that I could go back because there was some catering positions available, which would be better for my hands. I really struggled at one point with my hands as well, just because of the cold and changing temperature. But I couldn't have gone on in that way because I knew that I deserved more, and I'm now waiting for a replacement in my new job, and I think hopefully it's going to take me on to the next level. But I do just need to hold out for that and have faith in that. So that's just a quick story from me. I hope that has maybe resonated with you, maybe brought on a light bulb moment if you've been feeling like, oh, I shouldn't have left that, or I had it so good and I moved on. I also remember jobs where I didn't have it so good. I used to work for this home emergency company, and I was an outbound operator, which is basically a cold caller. And I was a really introverted person at the time, still am mostly introverted, and I have no idea to this day how the hell I managed to last there, because I just didn't enjoy it every single day. And especially on days like this, which is beautiful and glorious. If you're watching this, we're right in the middle of June and we've finally got some sunshine. And it's amazing. And I would honestly, I'd miss the whole seasons, just being stuck inside on a computer, calling people and calling people and calling people. So I have to go in faith now and know that there's a reason that I moved on, even though I might not understand this moment what it is, or feel frustrated because I haven't yet got a placement. And I just want to let you know that when you're waiting for an outcome, if you're waiting and waiting and waiting and it feels like it's never going to come through, I just want to give you a quick reminder that you can get through it. And to leave you with an example, I'll leave you with a quick story. So Thomas Edison, who created the light bulb, the American who created the light bulb, was a source of deep fascination at the time to a gentleman called Edwin Barnes. Now, Edwin Barnes didn't live anywhere near Edison. He'd only ever heard of his name and the companies that Edison had subsequently set up. And he decided he wanted to work with Edison. Now, there's two problems. One, he couldn't afford the train ticket to Orange County, where Edison was. And the second one was he didn't know Edison personally at all, but he decided he was going to work with him. So he saved up and eventually just took stock, and he took the train to Orange County, left everything behind, basically walked up to the door and was like, I've come to work with Mr. Edison. And the guys were like, yeah, sure. So they put him on a job which wasn't that important to Edison, but it was very important to Barnes because he knew that if he worked and worked and worked, he could finally work his way up and he could get noticed. Now, he didn't say, it doesn't work, in 6 months I'm going to pack it in or whatever. He worked and worked and worked, and eventually a lucky break came through the back door for him. Edison basically created this machine, and everyone said, it's useless, the market's not going to want that. And Barnes thought, you know what, I can market that. And he went directly into business with Edison. And that was after a few years of doing a very, very menial task and not giving up. So we need to think long term, really, which is a new idea for me. But I want to give you that story as well as to leave you with a flash of inspiration, a flash of hope. It's a true story. And I hope that has inspired you today. That's all from me. As always, feel free to comment and of course subscribe. I'll try and bring you a video full of value every day. And that is all from me. You take care now. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.